Oh, hello, chat. Hello, players.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we doing tonight?
Meh.
Meh.
Be Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Yay.
So, how much snow are you dealing with there, Gooney?
Probably about 3 inches, and it was really lightweight. It was just, I had to go basically across to the other side of the city to go to my sister's, and wow, people forget how to drive
Oh
in
my
snow.
God! I know. I lived in Minnesota, just outside of Minneapolis, for about 7 or 8 years, and every year around September, October, it was like, okay, crash roulette. How, what percentage of people, somewhere between 10 and 50% of the idiots that lived here last winter suddenly forget that, that white stuff that falls on the ground, that was on the ground like 4 months ago, it is super slick and super slippery.
Well,
and,
perfect example. I had probably a 4-wheel drive black pickup truck go screaming past me earlier this morning when the roads were barely plowed. The interstate was barely plowed. And I caught up to him later because he had been in a sideswipe crash and had spun out with half his bumper missing now. So I'm like, well, that'll get you, dude.
Yeah.
Well, don't you know a 4-wheel drive allows you to drive at any speed, no matter road conditions?
Oh, I know, but it's just kind of like, yeah, you think you're so macho now.
Well, ice is slippery whether you have 1-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or 24-wheel drive. You're still gonna, just slide across the ice. That's the fallacy about it. People.
Yeah, I know, but people who've never driven 4-wheel drives, they buy
the
one.
ice
thinking,
is slippery.
Yeah.
But anytime people say that the ice is slippery, all I can think of is the Shadow movie. It was part of their code phrase. But the ice is slippery. Anyway, the only other interesting thing I saw on my way home was somebody where 480 and 80 merge. 480 comes out of the north and then merges with 80, which is east-west. And in that point, 2 cars must have come to a disagreement, and the van went down the ditch, up the hill, stopped, and then slid sideways into a tree.
Ow.
And you could see exactly where the car had stopped, and then you just see the tire marks as it slid into the tree. I don't think the van was probably that damaged, but still, it was just like, well, they went for one hell of a ride.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
It was winter driving that finally got me. Well, there's 2 factors. Winter driving was one, and then my parents getting older and getting sicker that finally got me to move back to Florida. But that was
Oh well.
I have a teenage daughter. I'd like to convince that we've been trying to convince we need to move south, but
She wants to stay right where she's at, huh?
She wants to graduate from high school where she's grown up, and I'm like,
Hey.
And how many years are left before she graduates?
5.
Oh,
Good
wow.
Lord.
Okay.
And she's in high school?
No, she's in 7th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but she doesn't want to leave because she doesn't want to leave her friends.
Don't want
I'm
to leave
like,
her
they have
friends.
FaceTime.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Yeah, and I'm like, you'll make new friends. She told me the other day she needed to. I asked her how her friends were. She goes, boring. I go, sounds like you need new friends. She goes, yeah. I go, so we can move.
Wow, Dad.
Well, you know they have Time Book and Face Tweet. You can keep in touch with all of your.
Wow.
She's not going to be friends with them after high school, anyways. What difference does it make?
Yeah. Well, what year? What year do they change over? Is it middle school and high school, or is it junior high and high school up there where you are?
It's middle and then high school. Yeah.
So 8th grade for middle school, and then 9th is high school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You just pull the plug after 8th grade. Move. Then. Say, hey, you know what? You're not gonna be going to school with the same kids anyway. Half of them are gonna go to this other school over here, so you'd be talking to them on social media anyway. So might as well
Yeah.
just.
I've been tossing around either Jacksonville, Florida, or Corpus Christi, Texas. So.
Well, either way, you're going to get hurricanes.
Yeah.
Actually,
they're both coastal cities.
Both those cities have only been hit by a hurricane, directly hit by a hurricane once since they started recording in 1880.
And when did these hurricanes hit?
I don't know, probably within the last 40, 50 years.
Well, now I don't know
Jacksonville
about.
gets part of one all the time.
Right,
It's only been directly hit once.
Yeah, you get those things that scrub up against the East Coast and go north, and
yeah, but Jacksonville's also on the border with Georgia, so it's easier to get inland than say if you're at the tip down at Miami.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, right, everybody. Hey, welcome. I have a couple of minutes after 7:30. I am DM Gallibond, and we are here for session 17 of the Lost Mine of Original D&D. What we are doing in this game is we are going through the Lost Mine of Phandelver adventure, but we are playing it with original D&D rules, the rules that your parents and your grandparents D&D was played with.
Thanks.
Hey, I put myself in there.
I don't have any kids, so I'm nobody's parent.
What about your cats?
Well, those are
the fur babies. Yeah, the fur babies.
There's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah, they're family too. So
I'm gonna take my heart medicine.
I know. I'm gonna go be in the old person's home here soon.
All right, and so we are here to play this session. Last time we were here in this little village. I'm going to move us over to the map so people can see what we're talking about. Last time we were here, the party successfully went and dealt with Agatha, the Banshee, and got the information that they needed from her. They also cleared out 2 dwellings worth of undead in the form of zombies. Unfortunately, Barker and Mason They succumbed to their injuries from the zombies, and they are no more. So we have lost an NPC and we have lost a PC. Um, Now, Gooney, I think you had been working on another PC, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out exactly how to introduce that. I think I know when I want to introduce it, but it's going to kind of depend on how fast the rest of the players move.
Okay. I can hang and chill for a while. It's no biggie.
Okay, we'll bring your new PC into the picture before long.
We'll grieve you fast.
So we have, I think we left off with the end of the battle, and the party was going to make a decision of what they wanted to do with the bodies of their fallen companions, whether they wanted to try to take them back to Sealsea with them and give them a burial there. I think that was something that people talked about, or whether they want to try to bury them here, or whether they want to feed them to the dragon. So it was like there was.
I believe Theolis had strong opinions about this.
Yeah, I think somebody did. So yes,
it's 2 against 1.
I love you too.
Well, how about this?
Make sure that every character that have fallen got a proper burial. Have I not?
Could we just bury them here for now?
If we bury them, the dragon's going to take them back up.
I don't think the dragon's.
Thinking was we could bury them back in. I was thinking we could bury them back in Sealsea, and we could run into Mason's new character there at the Sleeping Giant, and until we get it renamed with whatever. That would be an introduction point, seeing that there is an opening in the roster. That way it's not like a cold meet where we got to try to figure out the attitude of the new player or anything. It's, okay, right. You're right on board and you're ready to take up arms and kill the bad guys or whatever.
Or figure out the attitude of the party towards the new player.
What was the dead character's name?
That was Mason.
Mason's flail.
Okay, just so we're all in agreement. Are we feeding
How about you make it the Sleeping Mason?
The Sleeping Mason.
There you go. So
there we go. Instead of the Sleeping Giant, the Sleeping Mason, or Mason and Barker's House of Rest.
Okay, so we're all against feeding Mason to this dragon. What about Barker?
Dude, I don't really want to fight it. If he wants to take Barker back, let's take Barker back. But since Mason's dead, nobody should be against feeding the kobolds to the dragon.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Let's see. Albon and Sildar Hallwinter would both be a little leery about feeding Barker's corpse to the dragon. They would prefer to.
Everybody's got an opinion.
Let's just take them both back. Do what somebody can pray over them. Pour beer on them, whatever.
Yeah, there's a cleric. There's an NPC cleric in town that can perform last rites and all that kind of stuff.
Fine, the dragon will just go hungry.
Well, maybe we'll find another dwarf you can feed it.
Ouch.
All right, so and what are we going to do with the corpses of the zombies that have been destroyed?
Burn them.
Okay, yeah. You can take those outside, burn them. They will go ahead and be disposed of. So then Sermos and Conrad and Amy and Theolis, you guys, along with Albon and Sildar, can wrap up the corpses of Mason and Barker, put them on a pack animal, and make your way back to the village. Unless, is there anything that you guys want to do here before you leave?
Gotta heal my.
Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah, I guess anybody who wants to try to do the healing, or who wants Albon or Sildar, they can try to do some healing. So let me get some character sheets open here. And now, and what I was thinking, you may have been thinking along the same lines, Gooney. What I was thinking is, if you wanted to, you could even just rename your existing character
That's pretty
sheet.
much what I did.
Okay, all right. Otherwise, I could give you a new one, but no need to do that. All right. So we're going to take, let's see, Mason, and we will take, oh, I think I had done that. Oh yeah, that's what I did. Put that on the other layer. Okay, so I'm going to grab these two and move them over here to this place. All right, let's. Okay. Let me move us to our map of the town. Okay, and the party is going to be heading back to the city. Meanwhile, Gooney, let me chat with you for a few minutes. Tell me a little bit about. Tell me what you've decided to name your new character, if you've come up with that yet.
Sorry, my husband was bugging me.
Oh, okay. What have you decided to name your new character, if you've gotten that far yet?
Zhire.
Zhire. Okay. Zhire. Oh, okay. And you've already created a custom.
Oh yeah, I'm set.
Okay.
I have plenty of pictures I can just whip out and go, here you go. Want a thief? Great. Got a pirate? Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Zhire, here's the call of adventure when they are in the city of, and I'm going to go ahead and show us our province again, because I'm not sure that everybody has seen this map yet. Zhire has been hanging out in the town of Karel, the largest city in this here coastal province. And whoops, that's not gonna do any good if I don't move the ribbon. Okay.
Woo-hoo.
All right. So
You.
yeah, Karel over here is the city, and Zhire has come down the road and wound up walking into the little town of Sealsy. And they, when she gets in, I guess is a she again,
Mm.
or we're not sure. Okay,
Oh
honey.
yeah, she's not hiding anything. She's definitely female.
Okay, all right. So she walks into town, and she will go to the Stonehill Inn here. And in the Stonehill Inn, she meets Master Stonehill, and I guess what would she say when she meets Master Stonehill? I mean, he's this jolly, sort of portly innkeeper fellow, spotless white apron. His wife also is the cook, and she rules the roost. She has a long wooden spoon that she waggles at servers when they are a little bit slow, and gives them just an eye, and usually that's enough to get them hopping and moving again. And so
Well, she'll
Master
walk
Stonehill.
in and she's got her travel leathers on and whatnot, and she kind of pushes back her hood so her red hair shows, and she's average height, kind of slender, but not, stick skinny. And she smiles when she walks in, just kind of like, hey, the life of the party is here. And just kind of walks in, looks around, looks at the tavern keeper and goes, well met.
Oh,
How are things?
Oh, well met, young lady. Well met. Oh, things are going wonderfully. Oh, we are having a great bit of good fortune here in CLZ. And how may we help you?
Well, I'm out looking for a little bit of adventure. Just decided to shake the cobwebs off of my gear and decided to see what was going on while doing a little walkabout. So, she kind of sidles up to the bar and kind of puts a shoulder or a elbow on and kind of leans against it, hip cocked, and is like, "So what's been going on? Anything new? Anything fun? Anything I can get into trouble with?" And she grins. She's like, "I'm such a joker. I'm such a joker."
Oh, well, there, as it just so happens, there is a band of adventurers who have come into town and have given us a little bit of help, and they are out of town working on a mission for the cleric over at the Shrine of Luck, I believe. They're going to deal with a banshee. I think, off in some ruins nearby.
Oh.
They left yesterday, and I believe they should be back by sundown today or perhaps tomorrow. But we will, you are welcome to talk with them. They are guests of mine at the new expansion that we have down the road. It's not quite ready yet, so I'll make you up a room here. It's a bit of a fixer-upper, if you will. And also, I should warn you that this band of adventurers, they have some unusual company that are assisting them with renovations at the old manor on the hill. So I would advise waiting until they get back before you wander over there, because you may see what you think of as monsters, but they they might be our friends.
She kind of looks at you, kind of like, oh, yeah, okay. You can kind of tell anybody else might go, she was just confused all to hell. So she's just kind of like, yeah, okay, no problem. In the meantime, I'm, if you can set me up a room, that would be great. And maybe a bath, something like that. I can shake the dust off of my clothing and myself and, get myself looking good for the rest of the town. Is this lively at night? Is there, stuff going on?
Well, the town has been much more festive since the Red Brands have been dealt with. The Red Brands were kind of a menace to everyone before our adventuring friends got to town. In fact, they had been using that old manor house up on the hill as something of a base, and they were extorting money from good folk of the town, shopkeepers and homeowners alike. But those adventurers came in and they showed them a thing or two.
Well, bully for them. All right. So I will. She lays out a couple of silver on the counter and go, is the food any good here? I could use something to eat as well.
Oh yes. My wife, she makes a very hearty dinner. You can sit right here at the bar if you wish, or you can get a table, and I will send the server over to take your order. Otherwise, we have the roast chicken, and we have the roast mutton, and we have the roast venison this evening. They all come with an assortment of farm fresh vegetables and some potatoes. You can get those mashed, and then the dinner itself is a silver. And then if you want water, there's no charge for that. If you want an ale, that will be 1 silver. If you want an elven wine, that will be 5 silver. And if you want a glass of whiskey, that will be a gold.
Ah. Oh, I think I'll just go for a glass of ale, That's excuse me. That'll be good enough for me for now. And I'd like the venison and like I said, a room, maybe a point direction towards a bath, and I think we'll call it good for the night or for the day or whatever.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, we have room number 6 for you, and the baths are going to be on the ground floor in the back. And he slides a key to you with a fob on it that says number 6. He tells you that's up the stairs and to the right. And then the bath, he points off to the side. There's a hallway going down. And he says, the last door on the right, you go in, and there are several tubs, and each tub has a curtain in front of it. You can fill up the tub and then close the curtain for privacy, if you wish, while you bathe. And then there are towels, and the servers change the towels every couple of hours. So there should be some dry towels in there for you.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And she kind of grabs a hold of the key, and then it just kind of disappears into her sleeve, or she just kind of pockets it somewhere.
Okay. And he'll tell you, I guess he would actually tell you there's three options for sleeping. There's the 1 silver a night for no, it's less than that. It's 5 copper a night for the for a cot in the dormitory style room where it sleeps about 12 people and there's literally no privacy. You just have a cot in
Gotcha.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the 2 silver if you want a semi-private room that has 2 beds in it.
Okay.
And normally that would be for people that are in a traveling group. And then
Okay.
if you want a room to yourself, that would be 5 silver for a room that just has 1 bed and
She'll do the
armoire.
semi-private room.
Okay.
So,
All right. And so he will charge you for that and whatnot. And you can start on your dinner. And he may be married to the cook, but he is as good as his word. Mr. Stonehill's venison is very tasty, and there is a complimentary little plate of cookies that comes at the end of the meal. And these are very delicious cookies that the mistress of the inn makes. And so while Zahir is having her meal, the rest of the party is trundling back into town. And listen, did we establish for you guys what time of day it was when you finished up with the zombies?
I think I remember you saying like late noon or something last week.
Okay, yeah, all right. So you have kind of the afternoon. You come back into town, and so it's maybe an hour before sundown when you guys get in, and as you come in, they see that you. Some of the townsfolk see that you have these bundles that look like bodies, and perhaps feet with boots on are sticking out from the end of the bundles that are draped across the pack horse. And people they come out to greet you, and then they see that, and then they there's kind of a bit of a somber look, and they see that you guys are all kind of beat up and everything, and they're like, oh heavens, it looks like you barely survived. Come, we will take you to the shrine so that Mistress Grail, that Sister Grail can look after your wounds. And as they get closer to the middle of town, Zahir will sort of notice that there is a commotion, and she will probably hear one of the serving maids near the door catch her breath, like this big gasp of shock as they're looking out the door. But there's not a it's not like screaming and wailing and stuff like that. But
okay. So she'll just, she'll eat. She'll make sure that she shows her appreciation and just really not overplaying it, but, trying to be boisterous and joyful and upbeat and the whole thing, like she's ready for a party type attitude. And then, later on when she hears the person gasp, she kind of gets up and goes over and peeks over the person's shoulder and kind of says under her breath, what's going on?
Okay, well, What's going on is the party is back in town, and so I'm going to go across the screen here and call on each of the players, and keeping in mind the injuries that you guys sustained in the fight against the zombies, I'm going to ask what Zhire is going to see when they look at your characters. So first on my list here is Amira. So when she looks out and sees Amy out with the party, what is the first thing that, or how does Amy appear in the aftermath of this battle?
Mildly upset because my white clothes like
Oh, sorry, you broke up there.
somber and upset because my white shirt is now red because of blood that are mine and probably Mason's and probably zombies.
Ooh, okay.
And my good shoes.
Yes. Okay. So you see a woman with a has the witch hat sustained any crumpling, or is it still pristine?
The witch hat will never die.
Okay. All right. A battered but resilient witch hat tops this woman whose white shirt is now stained with red. And then the next person you see is a fighter. So Theolis, what does Theolis look like as he's coming back from this?
Theolis is about average height. He's wearing old and battered chainmail. Dirty. He's got mud up the side of his boots. And you don't really see his face at the moment. He's got his face down, just kind of pushing the wagon, staring at the bodies of his fallen comrades.
Okay. And then there is a dwarf with them. And this is the first time that the townsfolk have seen Sermos in the company of the party. And Sermos, what does, or Casca, what does Sermos look like in the wake of this battle?
Oh, since he didn't know the two people in question very well, he looks stern like any dwarf would, but he's not quite as somber as the rest. It's just, to him, it's like, it happens.
Okay. And then let's see. Jason, that is going to be Conrad. Jason, what would she see when she sees Conrad? How has Conrad fared in this battle?
Conrad's looking a little rough. He's got a big scratch on his shield there, and his scale mail's kind of all not quite pristine as it was. And as far as his looks, this was his first adventure kind of outside of the church, so it's kind of an eye-opening experience for him. So he's looking a little shell-shocked with it all.
Okay. All right. And then with them, you see an old campaigner, a gentleman who clearly has been adventuring for quite some time, has a little gray at his temples. That's going to be Sildar Hallwinter. And Sildar, well, he may not be fully bloodied, but he's not far off from it. He's wearing splint mail that, looks like it could probably use a trip to the armor smiths to have a little bit of repair work done. And, he's got a battered longsword and blood spattered on his trousers and his cloak and everything. And then there is Albon. Albon is walking beside the cart and just very morose. He has a battle axe in at his hip on his belt, and he has another battle axe that is carried across his back. And both of those weapons look well used. He's wearing chainmail. That's probably in about the same shape as Theolis's, beat up and battered and everything. And he's, but he clearly looks very, very sad at the moment. So these are the folk that are there, and they go over towards the shrine here, the Shrine of Luck, and the cleric who tends the shrine, Sister Grail. She will come out and she will put her hands up to her mouth. Oh, friends. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please. This is a sad day. And she looks at the different faces and says, "Oh, we have. I see we have lost. These must be Mason and Barker. Is that correct, or did you find others fallen?"
It's them.
Oh well. Do you have? Do you know? Did they have a preference of the deity that would be honored in their service, their service of the last rites? And do you have a spot where you would like them to be buried, or would you like it just to be buried in the common plot behind the shrine?
I'm not sure about Gallibond, but Mason should go in a nice place. I don't know what Barker has planned for his brother.
And okay, I gotta double check my notes. Did I? Did we lose? Okay, we lost Barker, and okay, so Albon is still with us. All right.
I got their name mixed up.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So Albon, heard the discussion about burying Mason by the sleeping giant, and talked with Theolis a little bit about it, and talked with Sildar a little bit about it, and thinks that being buried there by the sleeping giant would be appropriate. Does not have any thoughts of that. So, he will. He and Sildar will go to. We'll go try to find a stone cutter at some point and get some markers made for Mason and Barker's graves, and they may have to send to the city for that, but they're going to see about taking care of that.
Mason was standing in kind of looking out the window, watching all of this come through, and kind of mumbles under her breath, "Well, there goes the party for the night. Everybody's going to be too depressed." Oh, wow. And then she goes back to eating. Hey, there's
Mason
cookies. God damn it!
Mason's alive.
You mean Zhire?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll probably have a few of those times.
Yeah, I was like, I kept hearing Mason. I'm like, okay, that's mom.
All right. So, Sister Guriel will do the last rites, and she will offer, if there's no objection, she will offer, along with her assistants, to prepare the bodies for burial overnight. Um, and then she will send word to several folk in town to get some shovels and go, with the party's direction, go find the spot uh, by the sleeping giant where you want the graves dug, and they'll take care of digging those overnight so that during the day, the next day, you can bury your deceased companions. Now, question for Gooney. What of Mason's gear did you decide that you wanted to? Now, all the wealth automatically transfers over to the new character, but was there any special items that you wanted, or did you change up the gear at all for the new
Nah, because
character?
basically she would have put together basically a traveling pack, which
Okay.
is kind of, when I've gone through the inventory, is pretty much what Mason had, like torches, tinderbox, yada
Okay.
yada yada. The only thing I'll probably want to change is the common, or the language. We'll have to
Okay.
re-roll for that, because she's chaotic neutral. So
Okay.
got to roll for because right now Mason was set for bugbear, and I prefer to see if something else comes up.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can take a look at those languages.
Yep. So other than that, yeah,
Yep.
I don't think so. I don't think there's really anything that I need or really want to change. A thief is a thief is a thief, Sorry.
Okay, mystically, and somehow the party just completely misses that this happens. Mystically, all the gear from Mason is just sort of disappears into the ether, and there, eventually you will meet a person who is similarly equipped.
Maybe a little more dusty, but
Yeah. Okay.
How fancy
go ahead.
marker do they want?
Oh, well, the party would have to decide for Mason, but Albon says that Barker was a soldier like himself, and a simple soldier's something tasteful, but just it can be plain. He doesn't need anything elaborate.
Well, if you found me a good piece of flat rock, I could probably carve his name in. Because my character took knowledge stone, gem cutting, which is close. So
Oh yeah. It's just kind of on a larger scale.
Yeah.
So you have some heavier tools, bigger tools, and would be able to.
I'm sure the blacksmith may have something I could use.
Oh yeah, and with that, there's plenty of places where you can get some nice field stone, and something that has about the right size and shape for a headstone or a marker stone for both.
If they'll go find me 2 stones that they find appropriate, I'll carve names and whatever else into them.
Okay. Well, Sister Griel will take it on herself to deputize members of the townsfolk to do all of those kinds of tasks of finding the materials that are needed, and when word gets to the blacksmith, he will offer the use of his tools, any tools that are needed for the purpose. So that can all be arranged without too much trouble.
Yeah, I'll just do it at the smithy if that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. It'd be easy for them to just take the stones over there, and you can do it right there. As for the entire party, once you are, well, I guess the party needs to have a conversation with Sister Griel anyway. So, who wants to talk to her about the mission that the party was on?
I guess I.
Okay.
The terrifying, scary ghost lady apparently was actually really sweet. She was very nice.
Oh, well, so the comb turned out to be helpful.
Loved it. She was very happy.
Ah, well, we had thought that perhaps that would be a way of dealing with her. Folk have said that she can be quite frightful and quite scary. But tell me, what did she say about the spell book?
She said it belonged to someone named Bogentle, which was, and they were a necromancer from a place that I'm going to butcher the pronunciation.
Okay.
They're now from Ivor.
Well, that is good. So does she know what became of this spell book?
He said she gave it to someone and disappeared.
Oh. Well, well, I know some folk who are looking for that, and I can pass that information along. As long as you know where that person hailed from. You say that was some time ago. I can put them on the path of finding that, trying to track it from there. You all have done everything that I asked, and I'm so sad for the loss to your party. I believe that I had promised you several potions of healing, but seeing as how you've had some folk fall, I think perhaps I should offer a few more. Let's see. There are 4 of you now, and you had a 5th member fall. So let me go ahead and give you 5 potions of healing, and you can, and we will call that payment for the work that you have done. And so each of you, if you wish, and I'm just going to go ahead and say that will include our new character, Zhire. Each of you can go ahead and put on your character sheet in your inventory that you have a potion of healing. And in this particular edition of the game, a potion of healing, when you drink it, will restore 1d6 plus 1 hit points.
I'm just going to immediately drink the one she just gave me.
Okay.
Or can she offer healing beyond the potions for us?
Well, actually, let's see. What is her?
Saying that potion wasn't good.
Okay, no. Somebody was asking if she has the ability to cast any healing spells.
Oh no, I mean I just drank the potion. I got one.
Oh, okay.
And then I got the +1, so I got 2 health points.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
Let's see. Griel. Okay, so she's not given a level in this thing. Okay. Well, we'll say that she is a level 3 cleric. So she can do 3 cure light wound spells. So I guess the question would be, are there any of the PCs that are bloodied at this point, below half hit points?
Yeah, I am. I've only got a couple left.
Okay, well, Sister Garil will go ahead to, and that's Conrad, right?
Correct.
Okay, cure wounds. Okay, so let's see if... no, okay, it has to be on a separate line. Okay, she will cast 1 cure wounds on you and give you 3 points of healing back.
Thank you, sister.
Who else is down close to half hit points among the PCs? Theolis?
Sildar's at 16.
Yeah, Sildar. Okay, there's a lot of background noise going on. And if you're not talking, can you mute, please? Sounds like somebody's trying to spray off a keyboard or something.
Theolis is fine. I was lucky and the dice gods were on my side and I didn't take any damage in the skirmish.
Okay. So what about Sermos? How is Sermos
Oh, he's
looking?
good. He got hurt in the first one, but then he got healed back to full, and then he didn't get hit the second skirmish.
Okay. And then Amy, how far down are you still at this point?
I'm only down by 6.
Okay. All right. Well, then she will use the other 2 on Alban and Sildar because they are both at or just at or just a little above half. So for Sildar, she will give Sildar 4 points. And then for Alban, she will give Alban 5 points. And I think that's, if my math was correct, I think that's going to bring Alban all the way back to full. I think he was down right at 5. And then that will bring Sildar up to 20. Okay, all right. Okay, so with that bit of business taken care of, you all, I think, you all still have your rooms at the Stonehill Inn. They haven't been moved over to the new place yet, right? Because the Sleeping Giant is still a bit of a mess and being cleaned up and remodeled by Master Stonehill.
I think so. We haven't
Okay.
other
Okay. Okay, so when you guys get done there at the shrine, would you all go into the Stonehill for dinner, or
Yeah, I'd like to get the zombie crud off of me.
Okay. Yeah, Sildar and Albon will tell you, if nobody else does, that there are baths there at the Stonehill Inn, and describe how it's a sort of flagstone room. It has little cubbies in it with big copper tubs. You fill it up with hot water, and then you can close a curtain and bathe in some semblance of privacy in the tub there if you wish. And so they allow us how they're probably going to make use of those baths. So Zhire, at some point, several people come into the Stonehill Inn. It sounds like the dwarf is coming in. You'll see the old campaigner. You'll see one of the soldiers. And you may see some of the rest of them, depending on what they decide to do.
Okay.
I'm going to smack the bar.
Okay, is the here? Okay,
right.
is the here still at the bar, or did she?
She was sitting down eating supper and finishing up, and now she's having her cookies.
Okay,
delicious cookies.
Yeah, so you see this dusty dwarf come in and bang on the counter. I need a bath, and Master Stonehill is like, oh, Master Dwarf. Yes, we have baths at the back. Will you be needing a room as well?
Yes.
Okay. And he goes through the price for the cot in the common dorm style room, the semi-private room, or the private room.
What was the private room?
Private room was 5 silver, I think.
I'll take that.
Okay. And so then he issues you a key, and he gives you a key for room number 8 that you can go upstairs, and it's on the left down the hall. And in fact, it's oddly enough, it's just opposite room 6. And you can find that, and then downstairs you find the room with the baths. And probably by the time you get, at some point while you are in there bathing, both Sildar and Albon will come in, and they will get other tubs, and you can hear them sloshing in and starting to bathe as well. And so here you'll see sort of all of this commotion going on as the dwarf gets a room and then goes to bathe, and eventually Sildar and Albon will as well. And the other PCs, are you all coming into the Stonehill at this point?
Yeah, Conrad will go there.
Okay, all right. So then you see this cleric, and what did you say you had settled on for Conrad in terms of his deity, or had you picked that out yet?
That was going to be Helm.
Helm. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So he's got a sigil of Helm on his shield. And Helm is a popular enough god that Zahir would recognize. Well, she, depending on how religious Zahir is, she may or may not know that's Helm, but she may know, oh, that must be a cleric.
Well, I'm
'Cause-
sure I've robbed a temple somewhere.
Yeah, and you would recognize him probably as a cleric because he's got the weapons that are more and armor that are more suitable to a cleric than a paladin.
Gotcha. So she kind of watches as they kind of come shambling in themselves and, kind of looks concerned. And after a moment, she kind of motions either the barkeep or one of the people serving her and kind of leans in and whispers, and she kind of hands her a small stack of coins and says, make sure they all get a drink of whatever they want on me.
Oh, yes, mistress. That's very generous. I will be sure. And who may I tell them is buying their round for them?
You can tell them it's me, but just a sympathetic patron.
Oh, okay. Wonderful, wonderful. And she bobs a curtsy and she goes off, and she will eventually come to those of you that trickle into the common room there. She will come to you and ask what you were drinking and say that your first round is being paid for by a sympathetic patron. And if anybody asks, she will point to where Zahir is sitting.
If anybody looks at Zahir, she'll always pick up her glass and kind of salute you, or her mug of ale.
Okay. And for the benefit of the other players now, some of them may have been able to see in the Discord, but what would they see if they turn and look at Zahir? What is her appearance like?
Kind of a ruffled mop of reddish, kind of auburn-colored hair, hangs down, past her shoulders a little bit. What you can tell, she's wearing travel leathers. Has a dagger at her hip. Kind of greenish brown eyes, a little bit. Definitely has the curves of a woman. So, and crow's feet in the corner of her eyes where she's obviously familiar with smiling or laughing. And there's always a slight twitch of the hint of a smile on her lips. And that's about it.
Okay. All right. So this is a person that you all haven't noticed here in town before. Certainly nobody that was that you dealt with as one of the merchants, and not somebody that seems to, have had any part of the red brands or anything like that.
Yeah.
I would like tea. I want it over there where they're sitting, and then I immediately go over to where Zahira is and sit to them.
Okay.
As she approaches, Zahir will take her foot that was resting on a chair and push it out for Amy. Have a seat. Take a load off.
Hello.
Greetings. Couldn't help but notice the state of your party when you came in, so you have my sympathies. I'm sure you were close.
They were my head of security detail. They will be missed.
Auburn eyebrow raises. Your security detail? Are you moneyed or have a former or royalty?
Yes. But anyway, what brings you here?
Oh, just passing through. I decided to leave the last place I was. Got the itch to do a little walkabout. And this is the first major village, town, whatever you want to call this place on my travels. So been traveling for a few days, roughing it. So I'm here. Gonna get myself a hot bath, get my leathers cleaned up, have a couple of good meals, and then be back on the road.
Headed to?
Say what?
Where you headed?
Wherever my feet take me. Wherever the wind blows.
Mm-hmm. Important question.
Silently in her mind, she thinks, wherever there's the next mark.
And how do you feel about world domination?
That's kind of an odd opener there for a discussion.
It's an important question.
As long as it doesn't have me swinging from a tree or having to do something that I don't want to do, I'm okay with it. Just leave me and mine alone, and I'm good. Other people can do whatever the hell they want. Just don't bug me.
Amy's gonna sit back and think for a second, and then go to grab Theolis. Okay, listen, I like this one. We need to keep. And they bought me tea.
Well, if she has your seal of approval, so be it. I have no objection.
Theolis is like, I just want a bath. I want a bed.
Sleep is for the weak.
And roast potatoes.
Right, so how do we kidnap them?
Kidnap who?
The redhead. How do we kidnap them?
Well, the simplest way to do that is to offer them financial compensation for services yet to be rendered. They kidnap themselves at that point.
You're a wise one.
I just get lucky every now and then and stumble into something that sounds smart.
Why are you kidnapping?
They bought me tea.
Why don't you just ask her to join? I know this
Occam's
is a strange
razor.
concept to you with your ego, but sometimes it works.
Occam's razor states that the simplest way is the most boring way, so we're not going with
Wow.
Okay, but sometimes the most complicated way gets you killed.
it. Hasn't yet.
Well, there's a first
Have
time
you
for
met
everything.
this witch?
So are they all like over in a corner talking?
I do know she almost
Yeah.
died.
So what would it take for me to try to sneak up on them to see what they're talking about?
Well, what would it take? It would take for me to look at your character sheet, see what your class abilities are, see what your move silently is. Let's see. Would it be a move silently or would it be a hide in shadows? Probably be a hide in shadows to avoid notice by all of the people that are in the inn. So I can roll that for you if you wish.
Sure.
Because in this edition, everybody, the DM is expected to roll all of the abilities and let the character know if they, or let the player know if they succeeded. Oh, wow. Wow.
Do I know? Did I fall on my face?
Oh my goodness. Zhire has, at second level, has a 15% chance to hide in shadows, and on a D100 rolled a 2. So not even the cat at the inn notices Zhire moving.
That's terrifying.
So here I'm going to say that you could, if you wish, kind of get underneath the table right next to where they are talking. And, you would have the option to either sort of let them talk and not interrupt them, or just sort of pop up in their midst.
I'll probably do a little of both. I'll let them talk for a little while and then just kind of out of nowhere, just boing! So what are we talking about? But I'll let him talk for a while first.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, I'm against the kidnapping thing.
We can try it your way first, but once your way fails, then we kidnap.
What is wrong with you?
She pops up and goes, "Who are you kidnapping?"
You.
Oh, hi. Hold on. I'm going to grab the here.
Trying to make it as startling as possible.
She wants you to join us, so she wants to kidnap you to make you join us, which I just say, why not ask? Do you want to join us?
Well, what's your plans?
We're going to high adventure, lots of treasure. What do you mean, what's our plan? We go out.
I don't know. She was talking about world domination earlier.
Well, don't mind her. She's insane.
Wow.
Now hold on a minute.
Great way to have your.
I'm not insane. I'm eccentric.
She has delusions of grandeur. Okay.
Oh.
They're not delusions if they come true.
Well, until they come true, they're delusions. So.
Wow.
Anyway,
I've never been more insulted.
So we go out, we kill what needs to be killed, we take their treasure,
Mm-hmm.
we come back,
dragons.
we have a good time, we go kill more things or dig up treasure from tombs or whatever.
So you guys are just out for the money. You don't have any ulterior motives. Then
Roll domination.
Kill dragon, get gold.
Okay.
We do not kill the dragon. The dragon stays alive.
About this time, she looks over at her and goes, and then looks back at Theolis and goes, "Does she have a pet dragon or something?"
She thinks she does, but she's going to be dragon food one day. I guarantee that.
Wow. Well, all right then.
You guys are such pessimists.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of looks
the
around
term
at you and goes,
realist.
"Well, I suppose I could join you for a while. I mean, it's definitely not going to be boring."
No, I will warn you. The other female we had died.
Hmm.
A miserable,
one of
hideous
those that-
death.
One of those that you brought with you?
Uh-huh.
Hmm. Well,
This is why we kidnap and we don't tell them things.
Ugh.
not the first time I've had somebody tell me that. So, Mama always did say that, you just never know what's going to be around the corner. You could just turn the corner and walk right into somebody's sword. So,
Turn the corner and get kidnapped. I know, it's crazy.
Not if you lead
would you
with a
stop
spear.
talking about kidnapping? Good Lord, you got a one-track mind. What did
she
you say,
wants-
Theolis? I am so sorry.
It's not, you're talking to Sermos, but
Sorry, sorry. Sorry. Roll call.
Both have letters in them.
I think she wants to lead some kind of criminal organization or something. I don't know what's wrong.
Just consider yourself lucky she hasn't decided to cast charm.
Oh, that's right. Hold on.
About this time, she looks over and goes, "Really?
Run.
I see
Did I
those
just say
hands
that out
moving. I'm
loud?
gonna break them.
Okay, never mind. I need these.
Oh yeah, you guys are just a barrel of laughs, aren't you?"
Well, my introduction to them was them telling me how they fed a dwarf to a dragon.
Well, ain't that special?
The dwarf.
But she did deserve it.
So you say.
Very so.
So you say.
Mason were here, they tell you all about how they deserved it. But
Oh yeah, Mason's the one that was friends with the kobolds too.
But this time, just all you see is just this one eyebrow just kind of raise up.
That was my reaction.
it's fine. It all makes sense one day. I don't even understand it myself. I don't question it anymore.
Well, all right.
You keep wanting to make everything a pet.
Not everything, just the powerful things.
Zhire looks over at her and goes, "I'm not going to be your pet."
I don't. Who said you were powerful?
You said what?
Nice.
That is a dwarf reaction. If you ever heard one.
Yep. Yep, that is for sure a dwarf reaction.
Okay, I missed part of that conversation out of character. What?
They said who said you were powerful?
Yeah, the dwarf asked, "Who said you were powerful?" Casca did I'm still trying to get everybody's names. Oh gosh, what is your character's name again?
Sermos?
Sermos. Okay. Did Sermos use his inspiration last week?
No.
Okay, all right.
I didn't find out about it until
towards the end.
it was almost. I think the combat was over actually, or almost over. So yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
All right. Yeah, and Gooney, if Zhire doesn't have inspiration, go ahead and give her inspiration to start.
Oh, thank you. I don't have inspiration. That's good.
Okay, new
Because
character.
Mason used it last time.
Right, okay.
How do I mark inspiration on this thing?
What we had decided is in where it gives you 3 different places to mark a level or class and level. Just in one of those class boxes, write inspiration, and then in one of those level
Gotcha.
things, write one next to it.
Gotcha. Okay. Done.
All right.
So
go
who's
ahead.
Theolis again? Is that Travis?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. And
Yes, how can I
Jason.
help you?
Who's Jason?
That is Conrad.
Thank you.
Yep.
Because, I can't remember my name some days when I get up, so. All right. So about this time, just she's still kind of eyeing the other woman, just like kind of leans back in her chair a little bit, kind of gives him that look of, so sure, I'll join your party as long as you're not thinking I'm going to be your pet. Because he said that you collect pets. I ain't into that thing. I'm not into the whole leashes and collar shit. So you can keep that to yourself.
You wouldn't qualify because you're human.
That takes
She
it out of
only
context.
takes non-humans as pets.
Exactly. Well, you weren't here for that, so yes, that's exactly
I
true.
darn sure ain't her pet.
Actually, whatever happened to my human pet?
Searching for a spell.
Yes.
Something to tame a green slime.
Yes. Something to tame a green slime. And how many days ago was that? That was
Like 2.
Yeah.
Mustard.
It was like 3 or 4. Oh well, Mustard is Mustard the one you sent off? I don't think Mustard was.
Yeah, Mustard.
Oh, you did send Mustard off after that.
Taming
Okay, all right.
a green slime.
I'll explain later.
You
have to
were
meet the
off
slime
your
first.
rocker.
Well, I was never on a rocker.
You
were never right in England.
And see how the renovations are going.
Yes. Now, would you do that tonight, or would you wait until the next day to do that?
What?
Go down to the. I think I missed part of what Travis said, but I thought he said go over to the Tresendar Manor and see how the renovations are going.
You guys gonna go?
I feel like we should check on them.
That's fine. We can go check on them.
All right. So just for just to sort of make sure we have the timeline, would you all do that on the next day after it's light, or would you want to run down there before you all turn in for the night?
I vote tomorrow. Get some sleep.
Tomorrow, Conrad still wants to clean up after
Okay.
the day.
All
we
right.
want to confuse our new party member as much as we can in one day, so we're going to do it tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So get Zhire a good initiation into just how much sway you guys have over this town and what is going on. Check the outstanding quest list, those that you need to finish up, and those that you still have other work to do. Because there's at least one place that you can go and turn in a quest list and probably get a nifty magical reward from it. That has to do with your interaction with the banshee, and there's also a druid who is out somewhere that needs to be talked to about something.
Talked to or dealt with?
Talk to. Might have information about a longer term quest that these guys are
I just want to befriend things, and you're trying to kill things.
Well,
I'm not trying to just kill things.
he's trying to do stuff and kill things.
Yes.
Get gold and kill things.
Mhm.
And the killing part, the business isn't very good so far.
Yeah. Yeah, half the
My
stuff,
business is going well.
half the stuff that you've had to try to kill is already dead.
Yes.
Or had already died once.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of nasty.
Yeah. All right. Well, then what we will do, we've got about 10 minutes till the top of the hour. So we're going to say that everybody who needs to can get a bath, turns in, gets a good night's sleep. And anybody who is still down hit points can increase your hit point total by 1 because,
Yay.
for the benefit of the chat, in this edition of D&D, a full night's rest restores 1 hit point. It doesn't restore all of your hit points. And so everybody can get 1 more hit point back overnight. And when we get back from our break, we will go ahead and look into the tasks that the party wants to do. Chat, I'm going to put myself on mute. I'm going to put the music on. If you have any questions for the DM or the players, these next few minutes would be a great time to do that. We'll answer those before we get started with the second half of the session. And chat, or players, I'm gonna put the timer on for about, I guess, 10 minutes. So we'll come back
Okay.
close to the top of the hour.
Okay. Whee!
I don't know how that's going to be helpful, but Theolis knows Pixie.
Yeah, you can pick up on Tinkerbell.
You go.
We can change your name to Peter Pan.
Oh no.
Peter Pan was a chick.
Yeah,
You can
in the
change your
original.
name to something else. Captain Hook. I only know the dark original fairy tales.
Hmm?
My favorite one is the cherrywood tree. And I'm not sure I can tell it because of what happens in it.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome back for Gooney for your benefit. And I see Theolis is already taking advantage of this as well.
Cool.
If you have additional languages, I have put that in both the general chat in Discord and in the core rules channel
Cool.
for the players. So you can go ahead and pick from those or roll. I think in Travis's case, he rolled randomly and got Pixie.
And
So
I
the
got
next time-
Minotaur, so
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
You speak to cow people. That's awesome.
Moo. What's funny is I usually play a Minotaur if I can get away with it.
Yeah. This particular edition, I did see some questions come up in the Discord, and good refresher for those players that are new to this edition as well as to folks on the stream. In this edition, they were very poor. In fact, they were so poor.
How poor were they?
Yes. All right. Somebody remembers that old joke.
Mhm.
They were so poor that in alignments, they only had 3 alignments. You could be lawful, you could be neutral, or you could be chaotic. They did not have a good and evil spectrum on alignments in this particular edition. And then the classes, this was the only edition where all of the classes that sound like classes were reserved for humans only. So thieves could only be humans, clerics could only be humans, fighters could only be humans, and magic users could only be humans. Then there were demi-human classes. So a dwarf was the class dwarf as well as the race dwarf.
He's basically a fighter.
Yeah, he was a fighter with a few little abilities like dark vision and I think some stone, ability to tell stonework, those types of things.
And also he can detect traps and
Yeah.
specifically stonework traps. And
Exactly.
sliding walls, sloping corridors, new construction, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. The halfling is kind of a rogue with some additional racial stealth abilities and some racial abilities with certain kinds of weapons that they can use and get some bonuses on. And then the elf is a combination fighter magic user. The elf is the elf class, which is also the elf race, has the ability to wear armor and use weapons like a fighter, but also can cast spells like a magic user. The trade-off is that they never get quite as good at using weapons as a fighter does, and they never get quite as many spells as a magic user does. So That was their original idea for hybrid, if you will. Hybrid classes was to make them demi-humans. And then by the time AD&D rolled around, they decided, you know what? We really should have one matrix of classes, one matrix of races. And then for many editions, they had this whole thing of, well, and I guess you still have it in 5th edition to a certain extent, where your race gives you certain bonuses in certain statistics. Um, for a while there, if you were a certain race, it dictated or limited what classes you could play.
First edition AD&D was exactly that way.
Yeah. I can't remember whether that lasted into 2nd edition or whether that went by the wayside. I think by the time we got to 3rd edition, they were like, no, you'll still have bonuses and penalties, but you can play whatever you want in terms of combining races and classes.
Yeah, but now they've gotten rid of the penalties, right?
Yeah, they've gotten to the point where, well, penalties, if you get a score below a 10, you still will have a minus on your abilities, but that translates to everything that uses that ability. There's no races that give you a negative. The races only give you bonuses on certain stats.
Yeah.
And it just is keyed on to what stats they give you. 5th edition was designed to be very friendly to new players and to players who had been away from the game in a long time, for a long time, and kind of wanted an easy way of getting back into it. And that's why I think 5th edition has taken off as much as it has. It is one of the reasons why it has been the most popular edition they've ever released.
Well, it's quicker to make a character. It's kind of a little more quick and easy and doesn't seem as complicated. But the only thing I really miss sometimes with the 3rd edition, 3.5, was your skills list and stuff, your find and remove traps and other stuff,
Yeah, what's really funny is you could see in this is getting us way off topic, but that's fine. This is what happens in a D&D game is for folks on the stream who aren't used to D&D, when you sit around the table, the conversation devolves into whatever everybody's thinking about at a time. When World of Warcraft launched in 2004, the primary edition of D&D that was out was 3.5. Also, Pathfinder was out. And for those of you who have played older D&D and World of Warcraft and Pathfinder, you will remember that in the original World of Warcraft, the skill system was something that at every single level, you got a new skill point. And if you wanted to optimize your character to do something by the time it got to 40th or 50th or 60th level, you had to start building on those little building blocks for that specialization all the way by the time you were 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th level. You had to sort of have that in place and build that skill tree up. That was the same way that 3.5 worked. And then the people who made Pathfinder thought that 3.5 wasn't quite crunchy enough, so they went and they made it even more crunchy. And there was even more little Lego bricks of skills and feats that you could build. But, it's like the thing I like about feats, especially in 5e, is that it's like just a suite of always on bonuses. Some of them are keyed to specific scenarios, but most of them give you a broad enough bonus that it helps you no matter what you're doing. Like a lot of them will actually give you an increase to one of your core ability scores. And so that can sometimes make it worth taking the feat right there. plus the additional situational things that it gives you.
Well, didn't Pathfinder come out at 4th edition though?
Pathfinder has a 2nd edition.
I thought it came out like when 4th edition D&D came.
I actually don't know what year Pathfinder came out.
2009.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah. Then I guess I was wrong. I was thinking that Pathfinder was out when World of Warcraft came along. But no, you're right. 2008, I believe, is when they launched 4th edition D&D, and Pathfinder was actually, I believe, the people that started Paizo were a bunch of people that left Wizards of the Coast and started that. And because 3.5 was built in the D20 system, they were able to just take that system and build something that was a lot like 3.5. And the only thing they couldn't use was certain copyrighted, names of monsters, names of spells, names of things like that. But so much of the other stuff was in the public domain that they were able to build a system that was like 3.5, but only crunchier.
Well, to me, it was 3.5 with a little bit of 4th edition kind of blended in. Is what.
I didn't play a whole lot of Pathfinder. I played a little bit of it, and I honestly never actually ran or played any 4th edition games, but there was a long-running podcast that I got into when 4th edition launched, and I listened to their entire campaign, and they stayed with 4th edition even after 5th edition launched, and they did an entire saga all the way from 1st level to level cap, which is 30 in that game.
Oh wow!
So it was a long running campaign, and they would do things like they would play a story arc, and then they would break from the main story and do other games for a while, and then they would come back to the main story arc. So it took them like 10 years to get through the campaign.
Wow.
But
that's some dedication there.
Yeah. But it was funny because it started as a game where physically they were all in the one guy's basement around the physical table playing, and then as because the one guy that ran it was a professor at a college, and a couple of the people that were playing were people that had been in his classes and were still students. And then when they got to the point where they graduated and they went off and got jobs, then they went to the point of, okay, now those people are playing the game remotely.
Gotcha. Cool.
All right. So we are the next day at the town, and let me go. Okay, we are back on the town map. And I believe there was a couple of different things that folks wanted to do in town, and players, I will let you decide what order we want to do this in. So what's up first after everybody has breakfast?
Do you discuss things at breakfast?
Or do you discuss things at breakfast? Yes.
Zhire could just kind of like, okay, I'm just going along for the ride.
As long as there's ale for breakfast, my Sermos is happy. So,
as long as there's what?
Ale.
Oh, ale. Well, yeah.
I wonder what you thought.
Or dwarven spirits. I'm okay with that too.
Yeah, there's plenty of ale because the water's always a little sketchy. It's the Middle Ages after all.
You have small beer for breakfast.
Right. There's Humans have small beer for breakfast. Dwarves have proper ale for breakfast.
Well, of course.
The then, as far as the non-liquid food, there are eggs and sausages and bacon, and there's pancakes or waffles that are available, and some fresh fruit, and some concoction that is made. It's more solid than milk, but it's not quite butter, and it has a consistency that's kind of can easily be scooped out with a spoon, and it has just a mild sort of flavor, and a lot of things like dried fruits and things like that can be blended into it, and a lot of people in town seem to like that. And then, of course, there's good old-fashioned oatmeal.
I think they're did something with your slime there, Amy.
Oh no, the slime is green.
They could have bleached it.
Why would they bleach my beautiful slime?
Meanwhile,
Because slime is on the list to be destroyed.
Slime? What about a slime?
We destroy slime.
We do not destroy slime.
Destroy
Also,
slime.
he has a name that I forgot.
Yeah.
About this point in time, Mason is just questioning his or her.
Zhire.
Excuse me, Zhire. Zhire is questioning her thought about joining this group.
She's not the
No
only
take
one.
back.
Says she named the slime. Okay, then.
She's touched, okay? She's been touched.
Yeah, touched in the head.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Too touched.
Well, I think that brings us to the point. We have a renovation going on in town that we need to check on.
Mm.
However, before we go, we need to go over some ground rules because it's a bit of an unusual situation.
What do you mean?
Well, one, you'll kind of have to follow my lead this first time up. Two, don't draw your weapons regardless of what you see. And Sermos, I would advise you not to disrespect the witch in
Which witch?
The company we're going to be in.
Okay, so I'm renaming the slime to be named Raindrop.
Oh dear God.
Amy the witch?
witch.
Or is there a new witch?
Yes.
I'm not a witch. I'm your
No,
wife.
Amy's the witch. Amira.
Amira the witch. Which is the polite term, witch. Okay. So, what do you mean don't disrespect her? I've never disrespected her.
Understand shortly. If that sounds good to Amira, shall we go up and check on Clark and the boys?
But what are we going to see? What are we going to encounter that you're telling me not to draw my weapons?
I think
don't
basically
what
what
the surprise.
Well,
yeah,
I
what,
walk around
what,
with the hammer in the hand, so, I'm just saying.
what Sildar and Alban would do is they would lean over and they would say, if Theolis and we draw our weapons, then you know it's time to draw yours. As a dwarf, some of Mistress Amy's friends that are well and truly under her control, they're not the kind of person that people that dwarves would normally associate with.
Are you messing with goblins?
And they are decidedly silent on that point.
Oh,
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
goblins
yeah.
are meant
I can't
to die.
wait.
Dwarf.
All right. So
Once the party finishes up with breakfast, we'll head up to Transcend.
You're cutting out.
yeah, Travis, your phone is kind of cutting in and out
Going
a little
wonky
bit.
tonight.
Yeah. All right. So the party. Any objection from anybody else to going to the Trisandar Manor to start?
No, that's fine.
Okay. The party leaves the Stonehill Inn as you head down the road here. I'm just going to use the arrow tool for everybody's benefit. As you get to the Sleeping Giant and you go past the Sleeping Giant, which the sign has been taken down and a new one has not yet been erected. There's some activity over on. I'm just going to say, in the absence of anybody else mentioning anything, over on the side. There are some people working, some plots being dug, or plots have been dug, and there are some people setting up for a service that will be held later in the day. And then you head on towards this manor house. Now, for those of you who haven't been here yet before, you see this Trisandar Manor, and the manor house is a old, broken down, ruined house that looks like it's been sitting abandoned for probably a century or more. Large parts of the roof are missing. Some of the walls are kind of, for the dwarf, you kind of cringe because it's obviously human wooden construction, and some of the walls are sort of, bowed in and sagging a little bit. And you do see what looks like fresh piles of rubbish that have been hauled out from the inside and set somewhere, probably probably ready to be burned, or perhaps picked through to make sure that there's nothing of value in there before they are burned. And you don't see the evidence of who is doing that by seeing figures walking around. But you would notice as you get closer, there's a large number of relatively small footprints that are in boots of different kinds. And then there's several pairs of much larger, much heavier boots that have also been working here. And as you get up closer to the manor, who's in the lead here? Amy,
I guess I am.
Okay.
I'm excited to see my slime.
Okay. So Amy goes ahead, and you see there, Sermos, that a door opens, and it's kind of funny because there's a door frame and part of the wall around the door frame is missing, but the door opens, and indeed you see in the doorway, you see a goblin, and the goblin waves And the rest of you recognize this as Dill. Waves and says, "Oh, Empress Amy, it's good to see you. We're making good progress on this. King Clark and the others, they're working. They put me on door duty for this morning because, well, I kind of dropped something on Relish's toe when we were working last night, and they said that I was a bit clumsy, so I need to be at the door."
Well, you're doing a good job. Didn't even know you were opening the door until we saw you.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Yes. Oh, there's more people. Oh, and Empress Amy, do you know you have a dwarf with you? Are you
He's
sure you can
visibly
trust-
scowling and just like
Are
trying
you
to
sure you
contain
can trust
rage.
him?
Don't look him in the eye. He's just small and angry.
Zhire's just like, oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. Right. Oh, you work with goblins?
Goblins. Gonna let goblins build the inn.
Would you like to?
God. Well, I don't think I'll be sleeping in that place.
Well, it's not just goblins, but we'll get to that.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
and-
Can it get worse?
Don't say that. You know you jinxed us now. Can it get
Sadly, no
It
dragon
always
helping us
can
build the
get
inn.
worse.
Zhire,
So
maybe you and I need to go start our own group.
Who? Me?
Zhire, yeah.
Okay. Bye,
Don't
guys.
take back. You're already part of us.
No take back.
No takesy backsies.
Tabaxis? Tabaxis? What are tabaxis? Sorry.
Oh no.
Oh gosh. All right. So, as you walk inside, you will eventually come. Okay. So we can go ahead and remove that. And Mustard is out of town. So as you go inside, there will be a number of people in here that are working in this area. The workroom over here, there's a couple of goblins in there, and then Dill will lead you guys in. Over here, Amy. I already have Amy's token on. So then let me see. We can get the rest of the. Oh wait, maybe the rest of the party is over here. We have. We don't need.
For some reason.
Okay, so we can bring Theolis and Sildar. We can bring Albon. Whoops. We can also bring Ripper. And then we can bring Clark, and we can bring Core. Okay, so let's see, Clark and Core. Actually, they will be over here. But then here's the whoops. Here's the rest of the party, and then I will bring Conrad onto the board. Oops. So there, this is Conrad. Conrad needs to have, okay, 6, 8, and 4. Actually, for the moment, I'm going to do this. And then I'll save this. And then I'm going to go back and do that. So there's Albon, and who else do I need? I need Sermos. Okay. Sermos is there we go. And oops. All right. That wasn't what I need. I need this. 10 and 4. Okay. So 10, 10, 4. Save that. Edit this. Yes. You select it. Okay. All right. So we have that. And then we've got so here. All right. Okay, so another thing, Sermos, that you see when you come in is you see a wolf, a full-grown wolf that is over here lapping water in this big pool here, and looks up at the party and goes, "Woof!" and its tail starts to wag, like it's excited to see people, and it comes running over, and it puts big paws up on Theolis's chest. And it stands up and starts, trying to lick Theolis in the face and everything.
Good boy, Ripper.
And so Albon and Sildar look over at Sermos and say, "Yeah, and there's more." And about the time they say that there's more, a wall over here in this corner just opens, and a bugbear strides through.
Oh, Jesus.
Well,
And,
shit.
Morning.
And so we're gonna see this. Okay. This bugbear strides through, and you guys recognize, those of you who have been with the party for a while recognize this as Core. And he says, "Oh, Empress Amy and adventurers, you're back, and I see there are more of you. Oh, Master Dwarf, please be welcome at Tresendar Manor. You have already met Mistress Amy, or Empress Amy, and you have met the other adventurers." And he looks and he says, "Oh, I do not see Barker. Where's Barker?"
Barker fell in battle.
Oh, oh no. Oh, that is so sad. King Clark will be devastated. 'Cause he knows that Alban and Barker were to be among the generals that would range forth from Cragmaw Castle to uh, help to secure the boundaries of Empress Amy's lands that King Clark would in uh, hold for her as she sought to expand her sway. Oh, this is very sad. I will go let His Majesty know. And he goes in here, and you hear this sound. What? Not Barker. Oh, that is sad. And when Cora comes out, a second bugbear. This one dressed slightly more lavishly. He comes out and he says, "Oh, Empress Amy, I'm very sad to hear the news about Parker. This is bad tidings indeed. But I see that the company grows." Oh, and he looks at Zahir and he says, "Welcome, my lady." And
I'm pretty sure we kidnapped this one. I point at Sermos, and then I say, and this one came on their own. And I point to Kahir.
Whatever. I lean over. Sermos leans over to Zhire and goes, "I think that's her mate."
Really?
Can I hear them?
How quietly does Sermo say that?
We're like sitting in the back, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'm just watching
Probably.
all of this.
Yeah. Okay. So
Not
Probably
really
like
loud,
under
but-
our breath, kind of going.
quiet for a dwarf. Let me put it that way.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Clark is making a lot of noise, and Ripper is sort of making a lot of noise. There's not really a perception check in this particular edition, but let me just take a look and see on these list of skills, see what you might roll to figure out whether you would hear something said under their breath like that. I might let you. Well, no, that's yeah. There's not really a good like listen things unless you're. I think hear noise is a rogue or thief specific skill in this edition, which is why they didn't give it as a general skill. Because that was like something that they didn't want to steal the thunder from the thieves for something that they had as a special part of their class abilities. So yeah, probably you wouldn't hear that because Clark is not exactly quiet. He's very blustery and talks very loudly, and but he sees Zahir and he sees Sermos and he says, "Welcome, lady, to Trisendor Manor. Please apologize for our dust. We are only beginning the remodeling process here, and Master Dwarf, you are most welcome. And if Mistress Amy may I ask if you might be able to persuade the fine dwarf if he can examine some of the stonework and see what parts of the structure may need reinforcement as we are beginning to reconstruct this abode on your behalf." and he says, "Please, call me Clark. You may hear the others address me as king, but rightfully, this land does belong to the Empress, and I merely will be her vassal at Cragmaw Castle when we are ready to take that and defeat the enemies of my kindred who have installed themselves there. Um, I presume they are up to speed on everything that has gone on, or have you had a chance to bring them up to speed yet?"
I will overlook.
Cragmore Castle.
Yes, there's a very, very nasty person who has taken a dwarf hostage, if you believe it. Actually, perhaps has taken several dwarves hostage, and this vile criminal now holds Cragmaw Castle. And we will go and we will smash it in the name of Empress Amy, and we will take the castle and reinforce it, and it will be one of the bases from which we operate, and we will make this land safe for all people.
Okay. That's a first.
Yeah, I am going to let both Sermos and Zhire make intelligence checks, because this is very peculiar behavior for a very peculiar behavior for a bugbear. And Casca, if you remember, yeah. Okay, wonderful. Well, you both get that. You can tell that there's kind of a funny look in Clark's eyes, and yeah, Sermos, you might have joked about, well, I wonder if Amy and the bugbear have something going on. But then it starts to occur to you, the way the bugbear looks at Amy is the way you have seen people that are under a magical compulsion, like being charmed, the way they look at somebody who holds the charm over them.
Nice.
And so you realize that this bugbear is kind of a thrall more so than a friend or companion to the magic user. It's kind of, she just magically has him wrapped around her finger.
She ever starts pointing them fingers my way, there's gonna be trouble.
So yeah, I'm sure Zahir and the dwarf are like, that's nice.
And the way that I'm also going to give to you, since you both made pretty good rolls, the way that the goblins are looking to Clark, it looks like the goblins follow Clark. And if Clark says that they now all follow, as he puts it, Empress Amy, then they're like, okay, whatever you say.
What do you say, both?
Yeah, they're just kind of like, okay. Hey, it's the new Constitution. Let's just
we're getting fed and have a roof over our head, and we're all good. We're good.
Just don't question it.
Yep.
Oh, they would
So-
go by strongest. Yeah, I'll follow him.
Yeah, exactly. I'll follow him. He follows her. So we follow her. Great. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So you've stumbled into quite the flying circus here.
Well, where are the monkeys?
Oh.
We got the wolf. We got
They're probably working on those.
And my advice about this place would be take a match to it. Start
Yeah.
from scratch.
Oh. Well, I will leave it to you to advise Empress Amy, and Amy, you can see what your companions would suggest, and when you all have made your decision, let us know, and we will of course be ready to do as you command.
And we see the slime first.
Oh, yes. Yes. About that, we have. We actually have Spoink. Where are you, Spoink? And Spoink says, "Hey, boss." And Clark says, "Oh, Empress Amy, Spoink actually came up with an ingenious plan." Well, it wasn't so much a plan as I kind of forgot, but it sort of worked out in the end. Yes. Spoink, whenever someone tells you that you had a clever plan, don't tell them too much. Just accept the praise. Okay, yes, boss. And he turns back. He says, "Oh, you remember the matter, Empress Amy, of those not quite dead creatures in the crypt?"
Yep.
Well, Spoink made the mistake of walking into that area without wearing a cloak from the Red Brands. And they immediately gave chase to him. And he ran, and whether it was by happy accident or by clever planning on his part, he allowed them to chase him right underneath the slime. And the slime reacted to his presence, but he managed to dart out of the way, and then it fell upon the three not quite dead things. And, well, now the slime is slightly larger, and there are no more quite dead things.
Zahir looks over at Sermos like, this just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
I don't think she understands eventually the slime is going to fill this place.
It don't matter. It's the fact that there's a slime down here.
Well, I understand that, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm just wanting to kill things, get some gold, head home.
Excellent work, Spoink. Excellent work. I couldn't be more proud of you, Spoink. Great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, General Theolis.
Mm.
And
General and Empress. Everybody's got delusions of grandeur here.
Well, you get one if you stop trying to leave.
I didn't. I'm here, aren't I? You might want to stop calling me your pet and kidnapped and
I haven't
Maybe
called you my pet, but I did say you were kidnapped.
Maybe I'll stop plotting your murder. So,
What?
And Clark says to Amy, says, "Oh, Amy, you should not tell him that he is kidnapped. Don't you know that the dwarves are the finest builders in stonework? This could be the architect, not only here of Trisandar Manor, but the architect that will help to rebuild and direct the rebuilding of Cragmaw Castle and all the other strongholds that you wish to take and construct. He's a fine dwarf. You should not kid him about that."
Head Imperial Architect and Supervisor.
That sounds like a fine title. Yes.
with that, I take out my flask and take a nip, like my
You
pipe.
might want another one.
I hand
I
him
lit
mine.
my pipe. Put the special tobacco in there.
And then they realize that they've kind of actually Ripper realizes that there's somebody that's kind of been overlooked, and Ripper sort of walks over here and he walks up to Conrad, and he sort of gets right in front of Conrad, and he sort of sits down and looks up at Conrad and kind of cocks his head a little bit, and he's like, does that sort of little thing.
Conrad will reach out tentatively and try and scratch him behind the ears.
No, he appears to like that. He sort of sniffs at your hand and everything, and then he licks your hand a little bit, and Clark says, I am sorry, sir. I did not notice you there at first, but Empress Amy, you did not tell me that you had brought a man of the faith that can bless the foundations of the manor as we are ready to begin the reconstruction. This was very thoughtful of you. So I see we must have now the kingdom's chief oracle.
Imperial Healer.
The Imperial Healer. Oh, of course. Wonderful, wonderful. And the young lady that was going to be the head of security.
Yeah.
Do I take it that she has fallen, as did Barker?
Quite sadly.
Oh, well, and he turns to Zhire. He says, you have the look of one who is stealthy about you. Perhaps there is an opening that
No.
Mistress Amy could find a title, a suitable title for you.
No.
No.
I'm good. Nope. Don't need a title. We're all good, aren't we? Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is there more?
Well, no, I
than
have
one
to
of
give
you?
you a title.
No.
How many are in your head?
My head or her head?
I'm beginning to think everybody at this point.
I don't have enough hands to count.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
And Clark looks over and says to Relish, why are you just standing there? Oh, bring some refreshments for everyone. And Relish says, oh, yeah, right, boss. And he goes running in here, and you hear some crates being opened and stuff being those of you who are close enough might hear a cork being pulled out of a bottle and some stuff being poured. And about a minute later, he comes out with a tray, and he's got several stoneware mugs on it, and some little plates that have some little like dried crackers on it, and mugs that have what smells like wine in them. And he will walk around to each person and let each person take a crockery mug if they want one. And
I asked Conrad, I go, can you purify this for me?
You might as well just start purifying all of them.
I can offer you a prayer. That's about it.
I think we all need it right now.
Those of you who are not dwarves, you would, well, I guess, and Sermos too. Actually, I shouldn't decide what any of you think about it. You all realize by sort of the smell of this wine, it has the kind of distinctive aroma of elvish wine, which is considered by connoisseurs of wine to be very good. Now, whether dwarves would be connoisseurs of wine or not, that's up for Sermos to decide. And it's also
not
up
really.
Yeah.
But
it's
booze
also
is booze.
it's also up to each of you to decide, whether elvish wine, pretty cool.
I'm gonna offer Ripper some jerked beef or meat of some sort.
Oh, he loves that. He just sort of takes that right out of your hand, and Droop will come over and say, yeah, they've had a saddle made for Ripper, and Empress Amy and King Clark are going to try to decide which one of us should learn how to ride Ripper as a war mount, so that we can ride him into battle and help Empress Amy with defeating her most dreaded foes. So we'll be able. One of us goblins will be able to ride the wolf. And I was kind of thinking, maybe we could ride in, and then I could maybe leap off the back of the wolf, and I could just hit somebody over the head with the club while Ripper just bites him in the leg. And wouldn't that be cool? Ha ha!
Is this the clumsy one that was at the door?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what?
Dill is kind of avoiding touching too much because he's feeling a little embarrassed about having dropped something on Relish's foot. And you can see Relish, the one who is bringing the drinks around, he's kind of limping a little bit.
Maybe you need to have something dropped on your other foot to kind of even that out.
And Relish looks, and it's like there's a thing that starts to cross his face, like, hey, maybe that's an idea. And then he goes,
wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. No. I don't think so, Mr. Dwarf. I don't want a second ouchie. First one's bad enough.
I would have gladly helped you with that.
Oh, well, thank you for the offer, but
it's always open.
Oh, okay. Well, if I need it, I'll let you know. And
Oh dear.
so then the dwarves, or not the dwarves, the goblins go on about their chores.
Are we done inspecting?
All right. So Amy wanted to go see the slime,
Adorable slime.
and
Conrad
so
Conrad speaks bugbear. He's going to thank Clark for the hospitality.
oh, okay. And Clark will turn and say, "Oh, a holy man and a scholar of classical languages as well. And thank you. You are most welcome. One day, hopefully, I will be able to study about some of the faiths of the land at your under your tutelage, because it seems to me that if Cragmaw Castle is going to hold sway over several villages, then people may come and have questions of the faith. And while I will never be a scholar, I would like to at least understand the differences between the gods that the people follow. So hopefully I can learn some of that from you at some point."
I'd be happy to meet with you or any of your folks that would like to learn more of the glory of Helm.
Oh, well, that would be fascinating. Yes, we'll have to set up some time. Of course, whenever your travels and your duties allow. And so they, I've got to move this to the other layer so you guys can. Whoops! Come on. This to the other layer. There we go. All right. So there's this door here, and these two bugbears will go through, and they will come on over here. Whoops. They will sort of get out of the way over here. So, Amy, you and anybody else that wants to come on along can come down over into this area.
Oh,
I kinda look
gotta
at-
see.
I kind of
On
look
I gotta
at
go.
more.
Sermos and go, all right, my curiosity is piqued.
I just
What about
gotta-
you?
Oh yeah, I'm
If I
going.
wanted you guys dead, I would have done it already. Come on.
Whatever.
And of course, Ripper is just gonna wander on along. Soldar and Albon will. They'll kind of look at Zahir and they'll say, "Yeah, we told you it got weirder, right?"
Got.
And then
Beautiful big
they-
slime.
Yes, and you, Zahir and Sermos, when you look over in this area, it seems like Amy is kind of looking, and you don't really see anything until you notice she's looking up, and then you see along the ceiling, you see a large greenish area that seems to just shimmer a little bit and to slightly wobble, like it's almost like it's a liquefied stone.
Is this on wooden ceiling or stone or because...
stone ceiling?
Okay.
And so Amy, yes, when you get that close to it, you see that it starts to quiver. It's almost like it's quivering because it's happy to see you.
With
Aw.
anticipation.
Anyone have any beef jerky?
Sorry,
well,
I'm right out.
they fed
No,
some to
good.
Ripper, so he.
Yeah, I gave my
it's
last
probably
piece
all
for
in.
it.
It's probably
Yeah, I
all in
should have tried to
Ripper's
toast
belly.
them up.
Wait a minute. Where's the limping goblin?
No. We do not feed the goblins the slime. That's the one rule.
Okay.
Well, if you're gonna make it difficult,
And Clark will say, "Well, they did leave 4 of the prisoners from the Red Cloaks here, and Core has been wondering whether perhaps if the slime gets too hungry, maybe we should feed some of the prisoners. But I have told him we must wait and see what Empress Amy and her companions decide before we decide to feed any of the prisoners to the slime."
so you're telling me you got 4 humans here that you all haven't eaten?
It was Mason's last to be eaten, but rather to be aired in a cage.
Hmm. Okay then. Complaining.
Puffing on my pipe.
But if we outvote Mason, then we can just feed them all to the slime.
No. Are they humans?
Think so.
Yeah, they are red brand ruffians. So they're humans.
They could be rehabilitated.
Conrad,
They've had
with feeding people to the slime.
I'm on Conrad's side.
Hmm.
Why don't you put them to work, cleaning this place up and building? Why don't you do to them what you did to them?
And Clark says, "Well, in my experience, I believe that humans are not so different from goblins in the fact that some humans are industrious and will work hard and will follow directions, and some humans are lazy and want to take shortcuts and will do the least that they can to get by. I believe from what we saw when we came and attacked this stronghold of the Red Brands, when that foul wizard still held sway here, that he had attracted a lot of the ne'er-do-wells and lazy type. They are the types that, back when I was the leader of Cragmaw Hideout, the type that I would have fed to the wolves to make an example of. But we now follow what Empress Amy and her friends tell us to do, and so they left us instructions to keep them locked up, but make sure they did not starve to death, and so we have.
They might respond well to the whip.
Oh, Master Dwarf, that is a good idea. See, and he says, you can get on Empress Amy's good side, and perhaps gain more gold along with your title. if you feed her some good ideas. I have learned this. And he kind of gives you a conspiratorial wink. Like,
Oh dear
I feel like I'm slowly becoming a tyrant.
A what? A tyrant? No! No. Yes.
In order for you to be a tyrant, you actually have to rule something. So
I am offended. I rule over this one slime.
this one's and these goblins and bugbears.
Okay, so one is charmed, the other one isn't. He's here willing.
Which one's here willing?
This one.
yeah. Core followed the.
What was his renamed name? Like Biscuit or something?
Oh. Well, we had Danish, but Danish got killed in the fighting.
Oh.
Did we rename? Did we want to rename this guy Biscuit?
Nah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but then you have to have gravy.
Oh, yeah, we could name him Gravy.
What's his last name? Train.
Yeah. The one of the things in this edition is that monsters that have a degree of intelligence, they don't have to be super smart, but that have like organization and stuff like that, they get morale checks during combat. And during the time that they were fighting in here, Core had been loyal to the wizard that was leading the Red Brands until Clark and the party started killing off some of the defenders. And then when Clark told him, we have more gold, then Core was like, okay, that sounds good. So he just very happily switched sides and held a knife to his own boss until his old boss surrendered.
So he's a trustworthy one.
Enlightened self-interest, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Self-preservation.
What? Meow.
So is
right.
this slime gonna do something, or
I think I have like a week of rations. I'm gonna throw some food up at.
is it gonna hug you? Or I mean, I want to
Oh,
see it.
you're welcome to hug the slime if you want to die.
No, I want you to hug the slime. It's your slime.
I don't have a death wish.
But it likes you.
I don't think that's gonna stop it from eating me. You eat your favorite food. No food.
But my favorite food doesn't look at me like, oh, hi, nice to see you.
What is your favorite food, a type of meat? Because it might.
Don't let it grow to like me.
Okay, can I just throw like some food up there if I have like something meaty in my bag?
Sure. You can throw some rations, and if you actually toss them up so that they stick into the slime, then the slime will go ahead and just sort of absorb them.
Nice.
If you toss them down onto the floor, then the slime will drop onto the floor.
I'm gonna toss them up because it probably took a lot of work for the slime to get up there. I'm not gonna undo all that.
Okay.
No fun. I wanted to see it drop.
You're more than welcome to drop some food on the ground.
No. I'm not feeding your pets.
Well, you did just feed a little wolf over here.
Is he your pet or is he their pet?
That is a complicated question. with different answers.
Okay, which person in your head's pet is?
Well, he's not in my head if you can see him, but Karg's.
So it's Karg's pet. I've had Karg's pet.
Yeah, Ripper was sort of part of the package deal when they charmed Clark. Ripper sort of just kept following his boss, just like the goblins. All right.
Okay.
So, anything else that Amy or PCs? Anything else that you guys want to do here?
I'll kind of ask where the half dead, undead, whatever things were that fed the slime. Where were they at?
Oh, and Core will offer to show you.
Okay.
Anybody that wants to.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
He says, yeah, we should check on the prisoners.
Oh yeah, I'm all down.
We flip a coin to see if we feed them to.
And they go through here.
Meanwhile, I'm cataloging everything as I go. Kind of like,
okay. Oh, Zhire, this little area that you just passed here, Sermos and Conrad, this is an armory. It has now been organized. All of the hammers have been, well, they haven't polished the hammers, but they have put the hammers neatly up. They have put all of the crossbows in the correct order. It even looks like there's about half a dozen cloaks, and if you can believe it, the red cloaks look a little bit cleaner than they did before. For those of you that were here, but there's a couple of axes, there's some swords, there's some things like that, and it's just like extra weapons that are available for people.
Sure.
So you walk into this room and you see that there are 3 sarcophagi in here. And Core will explain that when they first found this place, there were skeletal remains standing next to each coffin. And that apparently as long as one walked through this area wearing a red cloak, they did not move. But when Spoink made the mistake of coming in here without a red cloak, they all started chasing him, and that's what led to him, by design or by happy accident, led him to take them underneath the slime and get rid of them that way.
Okay. So I basically walk over to one of the tombs, kind of look it over, and then how tall are these things? Do they come up like chest level, or are they lower on the ground?
Oh no, they're just, they stand up maybe from the floor about to an adult's, a little above an adult's knee.
Okay. So then I literally lift up my foot, put my heel against it, and try to push it off. Push the lid off towards the back.
Okay. Give me a strength check. And you notice that the lids of each of these sarcophagi is carved to depict the person entombed within. Mm-hmm. 2 are human males and 1 is a human female, all of noble bearing.
Okay.
So do you have a preference of which one you...
We'll start with the female.
Okay. All right, let's see. the strength check. Oh yeah, that was good. You are able to move the lid a little bit, and kind of this dust comes up from inside
like-
the
Yuck.
yeah, and so you're able to move the lid far enough to see that the tomb contains mostly moldering bones and scraps of clothing. But then, as you look around, you do see a glint of something metallic in there.
Okay. So I kind of like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And kind of, I want to do a quick observation to make sure that this isn't trapped. So I want to fart before I pick,
Okay.
But nobody else has heard of that. It's like, find and remove traps. Fart before you pick.
Okay, let's see.
Apparently, Midwest humor is different.
Eastern Midwest humor.
Okay, remove traps or find traps. Okay, so find traps. Let me do that roll. Doesn't look like there's any traps.
Okay. So I'll basically reach in, or I'll grab my dagger and I'll kind of reach in very carefully, nudge away some of the dust and dirt, and then see if I can't snag whatever that is onto the edge of the dagger.
You move the bits of moldering cloth around, and you see that the metal is on an old finger bone, and you can tell, you can get the tip of your dagger into there and pull that out, and you see that it is a ring. And it looks like a ring that is made from platinum.
Nice.
And it has what looks like a seal on it, like the kind of seal you would stamp into wax on a letter. So it's probably like some sort of signet ring or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Conrad's kind of watching her, wondering what she's doing to these remains.
Well, and that's the thing, is she's trying not to disturb them too much, but so she'll basically kind of pull the ring off and then very carefully put the finger back down.
Sermos is totally down with what she's doing. I think we need to open the rest.
Robbing corpses on 24/7.
And
as far as the remains go, feed them to the slime.
I mean, we're already desecrating
Your dad might have
a tomb.
Yeah, and actually, Conrad, if you would be close enough to look in there, you would see that there's not a complete skeleton in here.
Ah, okay.
And you heard that there were animated skeletons that went and attacked the or that were set in here as guarding. So you probably would guess that somebody before you animated a skeleton, and then for whatever reason they just didn't think that the whatever was buried with these people was worthwhile.
Okay.
So I will kind of do one last look around and then move on to the next one.
Okay. All right. Two more things that you all notice. Sermos, I'm going to give this to you because these sarcophagi are stone. And while Sermos may not necessarily be a sarcophagus builder, he kind of understands how these are usually made. It's clear that the whatever would have been put on the lid to seal the lid, like wax or something like that, has long since been disturbed. And the stone lids are just laying on these now. So that would further lend credence to the idea that, these had been opened before you guys got here. And,
I'm gonna give Zhire a hand moving the lids.
okay. Basically, you find you find one of these platinum rings in each of the
Mhm.
things. There's slight variations, but the crest on the ring is the same. So it's clear that, these are
Mhm.
people of the same clan, same family,
Yeah.
same lineage or whatever. But then each one has a slightly different uh,
It's their own
additional ornamentation.
personalization on the crest.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And
Anything else?
no, nothing else of value.
Okay.
Just those
Conrad will
three
go
rings.
over when Zahir's done. Conrad will go over to each of them and offer a final blessing and for them to rest.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of sad because, there's like a few toes and a couple of fingers left in each sarcophagus. So I mean, whoever animated these skeletons in the first place, they weren't, they didn't do a very careful job of it. They just probably treated them quite roughly. So yeah, these poor folks had their rest disturbed. Yeah, yeah, and depending on whether you all ever run across anybody that might be related to these, these might be worth something to somebody.
Hmm.
Oh, they're platinum. I would assume they're worth something to anybody.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let me see. In this edition, no, I don't think. Is there? None of the classes get like an appraise thing. That may be one of the skills. Let's see, appraise. No.
Dun, 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 dun.
I guess if you had like artwork, jewelry, that would be a thing. So that would be an intelligence check. So
Hmm.
yeah, if you make an intelligence check, or if you succeed on an intelligence check, you kind of tell probably in a ballpark of what they're worth. If you really succeed, then you'd probably have a really good idea of exactly what they're worth. So it's up
Platinum
to you guys.
ring. I can always go to a big town and get it appraised.
Yeah, get it appraised. Okay,
I'll give it a guess.
sure.
And I failed miserably.
Yeah, you think that. Yeah, you think that these. At first, you look at it and you go, "Well, I'm not sure it's worth that much," but then you look at it and you just sort of feel the weight and you say, "Wow, that's a lot of platinum. God, gods, I bet it could be worth 500 gold." So, as far as here is concerned, it might be worthless and it might be worth 500 gold. So,
You mean Sermos?
Sermos.
Yeah.
I think you said Zahir. I was like,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't bother. I was just kind of like pocket. Okay, good. Next. I'll go have it appraised at some big city or something like that.
Okay. And then Core will lead you into the prison area, the
Mm.
jail area. And this is where you have the 4 prisoners. You have Vorjid, Breadhead, Ra, and Nesham.
Yes,
What are
one
we
of them is
seeing
called
with these-
Breadhead.
These 4 prisoners.
Yeah, they are shackled. They don't look starved. They don't look soiled. There's actually a bucket. All 4 of them have a bucket that, by the smell of it, is used for their.
Awful.
Yes, and they're up near the, just on the inside of these gates of these bars here. There are plates, and there are 10 cups, and it looks like they have been fed at least once today, but nobody has picked up those plates and cups yet.
Are they clothed?
Oh yeah. They are wearing. They're wearing not rags. They're actually wearing kind of utilitarian clothes, but their wrists are bound. They've got a short chain between their hands, so they can only pull their hands about a foot apart, and there's shackles on their ankles so that they can move enough to walk. But if they try, the chain would stop them from being able to run. Actually,
I asked Core, is that who we're with?
yeah.
I go, why do they still have their clothes?
Well, we are not uncivilized. It would be that would be improper. What if Empress Amy wants to come and question them? Oh,
I'm sure
they
she's
must
seen
be.
it.
Well, I mean, it would only be proper to allow her to make those instructions, and not for us to presume on her behalf.
I guess. I still think you ought to put them to work with the lash.
Well, yes, that's between you and me. I think that's a good idea. We'll have to see what everyone else thinks. I just follow orders. I don't give them. And as Amy comes in, you see these prisoners all here. You can see Breadhead, who had been down to 1 hit point. He's healed up a little bit, but he's still injured. He's just getting like the regular 1 hit point a day healing.
Amy? Amy?
Oh,
Did you fall
Conrad will
asleep?
offer to take confessions if anybody wants to repent.
I still think we should feed them to the slime.
And when they hear Amy say that, their eyes all get big, and then they look at Conrad, and Breadhead says, uh, they say that confession is good for the soul. Is it not?
That is correct.
Then yes, I did it. I was there. It was me. I was the one who and he starts like clearly trying to figure out what it is that
He's done wrong.
People want him to confess to. Yes, I stole from the merchants. I extorted money from them for protection. But it was all what the glass staff told us to do.
But were you a free thinker?
Well, I was attracted to follow the glass staff because he offered gold, and all we had to do is go around and intimidate people. So he gave us that choice, and I chose to do that. Yes.
Is Glassstaff the wizard that was here?
Yes.
Okay.
The other people in the party would tell you that yes, he is.
I have a staff now. I forgot about that.
You could feed him to the slime or the dragon.
Okay, there's 4 of them, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 of them, yes.
Or you could allow them
you
to
guys
work
can pick.
off their repentance.
Yes, they could work their, sometimes having repentant people work for you, trying to prove that they are worthy, will get them to work quite well.
Of not being eaten by slime or dragon.
Ow! Sorry.
If I'm being outvoted right now, then that's fine. But hear me out. We ask them all a question. Whoever gets it right gets to live, and the others get fed to the slime or the dragon.
No, that's no fun.
Asking a question or just feeding them?
And the feeding part.
You have not seen disintegration yet.
I think I don't need to see this. These men should be offered a path to redemption.
And Breadhead will look between Conrad and Sermos and say, "Yes, I repent of what I have done. I made some horrible decisions, but I see the error of my ways now." And
will you work for the Clarg and do as he tells you?
Yes. The bugbear and the bugbears and the goblins, they have been kind to us. They have given us food and water every day. I kept thinking that they were going to eat us, but instead they feed us. And Core says, "Yes, you must remember, human, that most of the time we goblins, goblinoids, we live in our caves and take only what we need to survive from the passing caravans, and then it is other humans and sadly sometimes, not all the time, you understand, Sermos, but sometimes the humans are accompanied by either dwarves or elves, and they will come into our caves and they will kill our children and kill us and take our things, and it just seems so unfair. All we are trying to do is get sustenance from the passing caravans, which have such an excess of goods.
Of people. Yeah, I get it.
Yes.
So, do the other 3 agree with you, Breadhead?
And they all look and they all come to the bars and they just kind of fall down on their knees and like, yes, we all repent. We will work. We'll work as the bugbears and the goblins direct, or as you all direct. We will follow your um, do the tasks that you say need to be done.
See there, Amy, problem solved.
See, I
Got
think
workers.
from a practical standpoint, the more people you have working here, the faster it'll get repaired. The sooner you can get on with world domination.
And
That's a
while
good point. That's a
still-
really good point.
And while still inferior work, it's going to be better than any goblin.
You really don't like the goblins, huh?
And Core says, well, the there is some truth as to what Sermos says, because to my knowledge, goblins have never had the pleasure of being trained by a true dwarven craftsman. Perhaps there are more dwarves that might come to Empress Amy's banners, and they could set up a school, and they could teach the goblins how to be, if not masters of the craft, at least journeymen that can be taught certain skills that can help to build correctly.
It's Armageddon.
After all, Cragmaw Castle, there must be at least half of the entire Cragmaw clan that has been turned against their better nature by the evil ones who rule the castle now. There would be a large workforce there that could help if we could persuade them to join us.
So in short, we keep them alive.
Yes, they all live. Everybody lives.
And they kind of all sort of collapse, and there's some weeping, and it's kind of weeping tears of joy, relief that they are not going to be fed to some horrible monster. And
There, my slime is not horrible. He is adorable.
Okay, but if you were really an empress, you would be going by letting them kiss your hand.
But the slime?
The people that are begging. You really don't
No,
want to
they've been on the floor all week.
So?
Thank you.
all right, and
Have a bath first, then afterwards.
and with the realization that they are not going to be fed, at least not today, to some creature, we will sort of leave the group there. And Amy, sort of in the back of your mind, you realize that, it probably should be getting close to time. Maybe by the end of the day today or by tomorrow, Mustard might be back from town and might have some news for you, or back from the city. Have some.
Question of, should I recharm him, or is he fully loyal?
Well, you'll have to see first of all when he comes back, what state he's in, and make a judgment from there. And that is going to take us to. In fact, we've run a little bit over, but that's fine. It's going to take us to the end of our session. So, players, thank you guys for coming and playing this evening. there are a couple of things that still are outstanding in terms of tasks. Out of game, you guys need to decide whether or not you want to go back to that um, wizard.
Creepy dude.
Yeah, creepy dude, and give him the information that Agatha gave you for on his behalf. He did promise to give you some payment for that. Find the druid, and then when you all make a plan, strike out for Cragmaw Castle, because the druid is going to have some information on how you can find Cragmaw Castle.
Hmm.
So, just as a FYI there.
Gotcha.
All right. And stream, we will be back 7:30 next Saturday night. We will see whether what kind of trouble the party can get themselves into. They may have services for their fallen companions. And you mentioned something tonight, Amira. I need to go ahead and put the information in a PM to you in Discord, because you've had that staff long enough to know what it does and how it works. And I need to verify that I have given that information to you, because I'm not sure that I have yet. So,
Do not think you did.
okay, all right.
It'll be interesting to find out.
All right. Well, players, thanks again, and I will put in the Discord later on to everybody. I will put the XP for the evening and the treasure that you guys got. And I'm going to put what the treasure is, because that way I don't have to go look it up later when you guys get around to actually having it appraised.
Okay.
And you can decide how you want to disposition it, whether you want to liquidate it and split it up, or whether you guys want to keep the rings and then split up gold some other way.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. We will talk to you all next week. And chat, we're going to say goodnight to you guys. Take care. And
we have no
Be
game
tight.
on
Don't let the
tomorrow, right?
bugbears bite.
Correct. Tomorrow we have no game. And I should just go around and double check that if there's anything that anybody else wants to promote. Players, anything coming up between now and next Saturday that you want the either on streams or social media that you guys have that you want folks to know about?
Nope. I think we're good.
Okay. All right. Normally I have a Sunday afternoon game, but that game is not going to have a session tomorrow because
So instead, we'll look at Gooney's cat.
there's the Super Bowl. So I've got some neighbors that are throwing a socially distanced Super Bowl party for, 2 or 3 folks here in the neighborhood, and we're all going to get together and watch the game on their back porch, because we can do that here in Florida in February.
Yeah,
And
rub it
And-
we
in.
are prepared to have another snowstorm tomorrow
Yeah.
and Monday.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you guys will get through that without
Oh
too
yeah.
much difficulty.
Hey, we're hardy up here in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Bunch of hard-headed ranchers and farmers.
Nebraska.
Nebraska. It's like America.
I'm in Missouri.
Okay. Oh, so we know who you're rooting for tomorrow.
Actually, I'm a Steelers fan.
Oh, okay.
And-
All right.
My team somehow lost to the Clowns. I don't know how, but anyway. Twice.
Yeah. Well, it's like finally, after decades and decades and decades, finally, I think they have a GM there in Cleveland that um, knows a little bit about what they're doing, and they've got a coach that's on the same page, a front office that's on the same page, and players that are buying into the system. And it's amazing how when you can get everybody reading out of the same hymnal in the same measure, you
Yeah.
can have more success than.
If in the 80s, if they just let Marty Schottenheimer do his thing, they would have had Super Bowl a long time ago.
Oh
Marty's
yeah.
Marty's biggest problem was he had these teams, and the general manager wanted to get in his way. It's just like, let him do what he does. Y'all would have won. So
Yeah, a lot of owners get big egos, and they meddle when they shouldn't meddle, and they shoot themselves and their franchises in the foot by doing that. There's, it almost feels like there's something a little bit fishy in the NFL this year, where, wouldn't you know it, the guy that has won so many Super Bowls, he changes teams, and wow, that team winds up going to the Super Bowl.
I just hope he loses.
I
don't have anything against Tampa Bay normally. I just don't like Tom Brady.
Yeah. Well, the one thing, having lived in Florida, having grown up here and lived here for a long time, the thing with Tampa is that ever since they've been around, they've had a pretty good defense. They've just always been very sketchy and inconsistent on offense, except for certain, short windows in their long, relatively long existence in the league. And so now they have a good quarterback, and they brought Gronkowski out of retirement. So obviously there's those two guys know each other really well. And then everybody else apparently had the smarts to say, hey, Tom Brady and this Gronkowski, they know what they're doing. Let's just follow what they tell us to do. And, and, oh, wow, hey, we wound up in the playoffs, and now we're playing in the Super Bowl. But
yeah, I really don't agree that it's in their stadium. I'm like, they couldn't have moved it to a college stadium close by. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean, they pick, they pick the stadiums, and maybe they should go to the point of not playing the Super Bowl in any NFL stadium and always hold it at, certain large college stadiums, just so you would avoid avoid the chance. I'm surprised it has never happened before. I'm surprised that back in the era when, it seemed like every time you turned around, the 49ers were going to the Super Bowl. I'm surprised that it was never in Candlestick in one of those years, but apparently it wasn't. So, because I would have thought that maybe that would have happened back in the 80s or 90s.
Well, or
all right.
Then I guess I will see you next Saturday.
Yep. Monday night I will be doing my Monster Monday, and then Thursday night I will have my Sword Coast Chronicles game, 8:00 Eastern time. Both of those will be here. And then 7 days a week you can find stuff on my YouTube channel, which if you scroll down on the Twitch, you can find the address for the YouTube there. All right, everyone. Take care.
Good night. Laters.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Good night.